Hello and welcome to the Ladbrokes UK Open. It is stage 2 action, an early start on the Friday for this, and I use this term without any qualification, Festival of Darts. 158 players here over the course of this weekend. You may have been watching the Premier League, you may have been watching the World Series over the last few weeks. The biggest names in the game knocking lumps out of each other week after week after week. Now we have everybody, every single member of the tour, bar two. Adam Hunt's gone on holiday. Adrian Lewis isn't that fussed. We have Challenge Tour players. We've got Development Tour players. We've got players out of the pub, but only one of them will take the title. Last year it was Andrew Gilding in one of the most sensational fairy tales that sport has ever seen. This year, who will it be? I'm Dan Dawson. Alongside me for the first couple of days of action here on board 2 is Paul Nicholson, and we start with Wesley Plaisier, the world master, and Connor Scutt, who came very, very close to keeping his spot on the tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, first
missed out,
Wesley to throw first,
and is now here, having won one of the qualifying events at a Riley's club. Up and down the country we held these things. Nico, it is not a bad way to start the tournament here on stage 2.
Yeah, not bad at all. Starting with a world master who currently has that title to defend in the future against someone who is fresh off the tour, like you said, Dan, and someone who is looking to rediscover a new level of confidence, you could say, because at the end of 2023, Scutt was playing some good darts, but he just left himself with a little bit too much to do at the end of last season to keep his tour privileges. But coming back to the UK Open for the 3rd consecutive year is a good way to just continue his career.
Yeah, Connor kind of fancied his chances, I think, of winning his card back at Q School. Didn't happen. He was crestfallen.
85.
But he's got back on the horse. Played some decent stuff on the Challenge Tour. That's already underway. Obviously won one of the qualifying events to get here. That's why he's wearing the red shirt. As you can see, there'll be a few of those dotted around over the course of this weekend. Could somebody do a Barry Lynn, the bin man who reached the last 60 quarterfinals? Quarterfinals a few years ago, beat Gary Anderson along the way.
Yeah, we walked into the venue this morning, Dan, and we saw Connor Scutt practicing on the stage, getting a little bit familiarised with the surroundings, but he knows them very well already. He has made a bit of a mess of double 5 there, giving Scutt a chance at a 1-1-1-4-4. Plaisier is going to have one of the smallest checkouts on the board to get the first leg of the UK Open.
Wesley require 5.
This can be awkward. He'll be looking at double 2 now. And gets double 2 for the opening leg here on board 2. Now, it's not just this we've got the main stage action, obviously. That's on ITV4 in the UK. But there are boards 3 to 8. Obviously, with so many players, you've got a lot of games going on simultaneously. But you can have a look on the Dart Connect system to keep up to date with everything. We'll try and keep you updated as this goes on. But there is so much stuff happening that keeping across it all is going to be tricky.
180!
You're going to see plenty of those over the next couple of days as well. But games starting at 11 o'clock, you've got the likes of Christian Kist against Patrick Hiraetz, and you've got Radek Sagansky against George Killington, which is out on board 7. And Sagansky, funnily enough, the last time we walked into this building at the start of a tournament in November for the Players' Championship Finals, it was Scutt that was practicing with Sagansky on this stage before play began. And that was a final of a Pro Tour event last year.
This is on. Wanted the bullseye to leave tops.
101.
And that'll do. Leaves himself single to double.
Plenty of good games over the next few coming up on this board. You got
134.
Scutt against Plaisier. You got Rusty Jake Rodriguez against Ron Muhlenkamp after this. And you got double 18 for Scutt. That won't do. And Plaisier gets a chance for 2-0, albeit one of the hardest on the dartboard.
2 half big Wes. Now, I'm interested to see what happens here, because I'm not sure whether Scutt wanted a 10 or a 6 in the previous visit. Yeah, I think he wanted the 6. And ultimately, he's had 4 darts at double over 2 visits. He hasn't taken any of them, no matter what double he's looked at.
And most of the players in this tournament, Dan, will expect to take 167 in 6 darts. Does he get a shot at double? He does not, and that is, at this level,
57.
a mistake.
Can't require 20.
That looks awkward. He's going to go high, moving over to the right-hand side, and that's
for the second
exactly
leg,
where he was aiming.
The leg is Wesley.
One apiece in this one.
Game on.
Somewhat ironic smile there from Connor, who, over the last couple of months, has been trialling different equipment.
100.
The barrels haven't changed, but the point element, the stem and flight combination, he's tinkering at the minute to find something that really works. He's had a problem
80.
with the darts wobbling in the board a bit too much. He's trying to get something that's a bit stable.
Has he gone for a larger flight? Did he have, like, the sort of
96.
very trimmed down little flights previously?
Yeah, he had moulded kite flights over the last couple of years, but he's gone to this particular shape because he signed a new deal
85.
with a manufacturer, and they don't do kites. So at the minute, he's trying to use a small standard flight with a view to maybe getting something
98.
made in a bespoke way.
Well, if he has had a problem with getting his darts to go in authoritatively in the board and getting them, I mean, it looked like they're going in pretty
56.
well here and holding their position. They're not loose, they're not wobbling. Then getting a more stable flight through the air, it's more likely to achieve that, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
140.
But if you look at his barrels, there's that defined scallop towards the back of the barrel. That's where the thumb and the forefinger go. Because he's throwing so far to the back, that stability at the end must be perfect, otherwise it's going to go in too high. Oh, that's awkward.
51.
Big flight for Big Wes. Knocks that dart away. So far, we are going with the throw.
130.
Well, that
Wesley
leads him single
requires
to double,
16.
but the Dutchman on double 8s. And
from
pins
third
it.
leg,
It is all
Wesley
going
Plaisier.
with throw at the moment.
Full leg, it's Connor to throw first.
Saw Wesley obviously
Game
win the World Masters, but personally, when he first appeared on the radar, I was seeing him on the European Tour, where he was magnificent,
97.
going all the way to the final session of action in Munich and running Luke Humphreys very, very close in that tournament. He backed it up as well
100.
with further performances on the European Tour. And from then, he really did look like one of the most dangerous players not on the circuit.
I think he's getting better as each year goes by as well. He's just doing other bits and gaining this experience, which will ready him for the tour in the next 2 or 3 years, in my opinion. He's been part of an incredible Dutch national team as well, with the likes of Jelle Klaassen in the last 12 months. He's a real top flight Dutch player without
93.
being a PDC tour card holder yet. But he might just be one of those people who isn't too fussed about getting to the tour on a full-time basis
91.
yet. He's maybe earmarking it for when he's around the age of 30 to 35. Right, then I can give it everything I've got. A bit like Nico Springer. He's not panicking in getting to the tour
60.
immediately. It will happen. It's just a case of
Wesley
when and not if.
170.
He's certainly got talent, despite what is quite an unorthodox action. Does sort of swivel as he throws the dart from right to left, but if he's getting the
56.
timing right and releasing it at the right time, it's not a problem. You can see how it could become a problem if his timing's slightly off, but everybody, if your timing's slightly off, lots of players will struggle to hit what they want.
145.
It's a bit like a sprinkler head
Wesley
going from
140.
right to left when he throws it.
Yeah, not quite Nathan Derry, but double top now for 114. Would have been the first
94.
breaker throw. Wesley Plaisier misses the opportunity.
65.
Doesn't have to go 25 here. Might look elsewhere. Yeah, double 4. Very creative thinker is Connor Scutt. And he's just showing you that you don't have to go 25. You don't even have to go treble 11. There are other ways of getting 65 that can be very beneficial.
Well, we've seen him leave 46 before, and a single 19 there would have left 46. And the bonus there you get is a single to double, but you've got a big area to aim for, the 10 or the 6. So there's a little bit more margin for error. And that is probably part of his thinking in terms of going that route. Part of it will just be, I throw at the treble 19 a lot, and he probably likes double 4. But that as a fallback plan isn't a bad one.
Yeah, there's lots of dart players out there who just automatically think, when a number comes up, that's the way I should go. Think about other options. That's one of the things I admire about Connor. He thinks laterally about how he gets to 0 in 501.
30.
Well, the only chance we've had, the only dart double for a breaker throw came in that last leg for Wesley Plaisier. He wasn't able to take
60.
it. He doesn't need a breaker throw in this game. But it's perhaps not surprising that this one is tight. It's one of the reasons they've put it in. It's one of the picks of the first round games, to be honest.
I'd have to agree. You've got one of the best performers on the Challenge Tour last year. Plaisier comes in as number 4 of the
96.
qualifying list from that area. And of course, Scutt came through the Harlow qualifier, which is not that far from where he lives, just around the M25 motorway.
180.
And that just goes to show that those big barrels from Big Wes can all be fit in the same segment.
You kind of needed a big visit there.
57. Wesley, you require 8.
Scutt is still within striking distance if there's a mistake.
So
there's no mistake. Double 2 does the job again.
Connor to throw first. Game 1.
Where is this break of throw going to come from for Connor? He's going to have to stick in a 12 darter, you feel, to get that statement break of throw. And you're better off getting it sooner rather than later, because Plaisier is starting to look very comfortable.
98.
Game's going on the outer boards. As we mentioned, Killington versus Zagansky. Zagansky 3-1 down in that one. The
93.
very impressive and very tall talent from the West Country, Dom Taylor. 3-1 up on Brandon Weston, who's one of our
57.
pub qualifiers, or Riley's Club qualifiers, if you like. Jack Mayle, player that you'd highlighted before we came on air. Paul Nicholson, he was floundering against Martijn Dracht, but has dragged himself back into that, trails by 3 legs to 2.
Yeah, another off the rank in the Northeast. Jack's a great player who is just gradually picking away at his career and just getting experience. Maybe earmarking the PDC Pro Tour in the next 5 years, but this is a big moment for Jack to make his first UK Open. It would be a huge victory to take out Dracht of the Netherlands, who's an excellent player, someone that Plaisier knows extremely well.
Yeah, another new tour card holder who we first saw on the European Tour, Martijn Dracht. Beat Rob Cross in Kiel, if I remember rightly. And Connor Scutt unable to take the 1-1-3.
52. Wesley require 146.
Options here. 2 treble 19s maybe. Someone who doesn't fiddle with his kit at all.
57.
From the first time we saw him on the European Tour, he has not changed a thing about flight, stems, points or barrels. Now, that was for the 45. This is 3-3. Interesting that I've said he's a creative thinker when it comes to doubles, but I don't think he's got a favourite, because in that moment he's got 51. If he prefers tops, why doesn't he go 11 tops? But there, he's just showing a bit of flexibility.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to leave tops.
96.
Tends to do a lot of his work there, but electing in the end for double 16 did the job for him. No harm done. But I don't know. I can understand his thinking for some of the shots he's making. That one, not really sure.
Sometimes it's just best not to guess and just let him do his thing. But what we do know is that the winner of this game would take on the winner of the first game on the main stage. Hope I Poor of New Zealand up against Yella Klassen. That's a great game of darts.
Yeah, that's not scheduled to get going till midday. Main stage action starting a little later
58.
than the rest of the boards.
You just wonder what story's going to come about today. Friday at the UK Open
96.
always delivers something. And last year it delivered the winner in Andrew Gilding. And the last 2 or 3 years, it's given us great stories. I wonder if one of these two are going to be that story. Plaisier, to hold again, needs 20 in bull. Or that for double 5. This is that break chance right here. So many options on 67. He's looking south, so it's going to be 17s.
Is it 10 for tops? It is. He goes for tops this time. And he does not get it. And why did he go for tops there when he'd gone for double 16 in the previous leg?
This is what Plaisier does. He just takes his time before going for an important shot like this. Double 2 he's found twice already in this match. And he's found it for a third time. How often do you see that in a best of 11 match? 3 double 2s hit. That's not even the end of the game yet.
Well, double 2 is saving Wesley Plaisier here. Connor Scutt and Plaisier have both had 1 dart at the end of combination finishes to break their opponent. Neither has taken it, which means Plaisier has the upper hand. But there is so little between them in this game. It's not as high quality in terms of the averages as I thought. I thought we'd be in the 90s or in the mid 80s. But it is close and it is competitive, and you can see the frustration from Scutt.
I think he understood just how big that dart was.
136.
You wanted to get that break to be 4-3 up, and then you hold from there, you're 5-3 up. But now, all of a sudden, things are turned around, and you're thinking, there's a possibility I could be 5-3 down, needing to win the last 3 legs of the contest just to play in round number 2.
And time is running out for the sniper.
140.
Plaisier is applying the pressure.
If I may be fair to Connor Scutt as a qualifier, this is an awful draw.
93.
If I were him and I got Plaisier round 1, I would have hated that.
Yeah, look, Plaisier won't be happy about drawing Connor Scutt. Of the various Riley's qualifiers, Scutt is
43.
arguably the most notable. Certainly one of them.
He's got to do his job here from 151. But just imagine if Plaisier was to take this out.
152. $44.
Automatically think in this spot
You require 16.
that we are going to go the distance. Double 4.
$8.
But an easier chance for Plaisier. Had something very similar to this earlier on and couldn't take it.
Loads of options on 108. 20s, 18s, 19s, 17s. He's going the 19s route, and is that awkward?
I like the 19s route on 108, but too many players, when they block that 57, go for the second shot on it. They should go for 17s and double 19 with 2 open beds. Now is double 2 going to haunt Plaisier this time, and that area of the board's getting so much attention.
I'd like Wesley to throw first. Game on.
Well, consistently, double 2 has been the go-to double in this game. Half the legs have been won on double 2. And part of the reason for that is they've not been great on any of the other doubles. They keep finding himself down there.
Well, what's weird is that double 2 is not even a tertiary double. So you've got 16s as the primary, 8s as the secondary, 4s as the tertiary, and then 2s and 1s are even further adrift.
Yeah, well, we've seen 12 darts missed at double by Scutt and 8 missed by Plaisier in this game. So 20 missed darts at double in total, which is part of the reason why they keep finding themselves right down on the second smallest double on the board.
96.
Highest checkout has been 65 in this game. Nothing's been going according to plan straight away in this match so far.
138.
Not sure who Connor Scutt is actually looking at in this crowd, but he's definitely got somebody with him who he's trying to draw inspiration from. The atmosphere here is fairly quiet for a Friday afternoon, as it always is. It takes a bit of time for things to warm up here. It's not 2018 where everything was cold here.
Wesley require 151.
That might be a missed opportunity there for Scutt. One treble and you get to a one treble combo. As it is, it's a very difficult finish he's going to have to take out. And Plaisier has left himself single to double. It might need something like this for the sniper.
Just how valuable will that last dart at treble 18 be for Plaisier? Because in making this single to double, it could make all the difference. Monstrous. Another hold of throw, and Scutt now needs 2 in a row, otherwise he's going to be the first person out.
Well, improbably, that is Big Wes's biggest finish of the match. But more importantly, it's just gone in 2 darts. It's a single to double. It's nothing special, but it's gone, and he's taken it out under pressure. And there's not been a whole lot of that going on in this game.
Whoever does lose this game, they are not going to be the first person out, because that is Jitse van der Waal. He's lost 6-3 to Johnny Haynes.
The punk.
Played all right as well. Averaged over 95.
That's Johnny Haynes' nickname, by the way. I'm not criticising Jitse van der Waal. Man, he beat Luke Littler in the Euro Tour qualifiers just a week or 2 ago.
And nobody wants to be the first person eliminated. It's a very long way to go back anywhere from Minehead. Unless your name is Ryan Searle or Gary Anderson, of course.
Yeah, there aren't many down these ends. Well, Plaisier had gone quite aggressive there, because a ton 40 would have left a bogey number. But a lot of players are doing those sorts of shots now. Less so from 306, more from things like 302.
Yeah, I'm just getting the feeling that Plaisier is not as mathematically savvy as someone like a Klassen is, who could prospectively be his opponent in the next game.
140.
To take us the distance.
82.
He'd love to get the ball. He'll have to settle for a shot at tops.
42.
That could be that. Plaisier's had shots at things like this, but hasn't taken one yet. But if he takes this, he wins the match.
He'll get a match start. It's double 16 for a 6-4 win.
74.
Match start missed, and Connor Scutt is allowed back to the board to take us all the way in our opening match on stage 2.
You can't leave double 2 from here. Double 10 comes in very handy. An excellent start to the UK Open on board 2. Lots of holds of throw. Will that continue? Or will somebody by the name of Connor Scutt get a break to get into round number 2 in the red shirt?
This would be a sickener for Plaisier to lose. 10 holds of throw. He's already missed a match start. If he were to lose, particularly after kicking off 1-3-4 in the last leg.
57.
They will both walk. Whoever loses this will walk away feeling they could have won it, and perhaps should have. It's only mid-80s averages. Neither have played to their capabilities. There have been little opportunities here and there, and while the quality hasn't been as high as we perhaps expected, it's been a good contest.
All you want to do is get into round 2. You don't care about the stats. It's just a case of getting the 6 legs and negotiating the Friday afternoon. Get in the hat for tonight when the big boys join the draw. But it could be an extremely long day. It could be as long as 12 hours.
Yeah, if you end up being the final game on the main stage tonight. Oh, he needed to fit it up to get to a finish. Plaisier's got 2 visits from here. Set it up, take it out, wrap up the game.
You'd love a ton.
41.
Hold your horses a second. He did get a match start from 106 in the previous leg.
58.
But again, trebleless, like he was in the first 3 darts of this leg. It just costs Scutt maybe a little too much.
51 and bull. 51 and bull for a 108? Wesley Plaisier misses a second match start. There has been nothing
146.
even faintly resembling this sort of checkout in this match so far. And we're not going to see it here. And so Plaisier will get more match starts, but he's going to have to burn one to get to a double.
He's got to get this single. In these spots, this single 9 is not easy. Made it look easy. Last shot. Match start 4 is not simple. But it's in. Wesley Plaisier is the first person to win on board number 2 at the expense of one of the Riley's qualifiers, one of the best as well. The winner from Harlow is gone. And now Plaisier will have a break before he plays either Hopai Puha or Jelle Klaassen. It could be a battle of 2 Dutch internationals. Maybe the Kiwi could have something to say about that. But the first person through on board 2, Wesley Plaisier, well done. He's done this one, Mike, 6 legs to 5.